Greetings. I have finally returned. I know it's been 8 months since my last video. I'm sorry about that. Anyways, on to the main topic. We're discussing what's gotta be one of the biggest mysteries in all of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You see, back in 1974, they made a little movie called Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and it got pretty popular. So obviously the natural next step is to make a second one. And 14 years later, that's exactly what they did. And this time, they had a much higher budget. You can tell because they actually got a big name actor for this. Dennis Hopper, the guy known for movies such as Apocalypse Now, Blue Velvet, and Santa Bears. High-flying adventure. Yes, this is real. Anyways, this movie is set coincidentally 14 years after the second one, and like every sequel, introduces a colorful cast of new characters. The main one we'll be discussing today is Dennis Hopper's character, Lefty Enright. This guy is actually the most connected to our two original main characters, Franklin and Sally, as he is their uncle. However, there's one little problem with that. Franklin and Sally's last name is Hardesty, and this guy's last name is Enright, so what the hell gives? Your immediate answer is probably just, oh, it's because their mom took her husband's last name. Well, if things were that simple, then we wouldn't be here today now, would we? We end up learning from this Tom Cruise-looking motherfucker that Sally and Franklin are actually their brother's kids. Keyword there being brother. Why the name difference? Well, the actual reason is very simple. It's because his name is a pun. His name is a pun off of left and right. It's really not that much deeper. But this explanation does not satisfy me. We gotta overanalyze the hell out of this. We can't just leave it at that. What is the canonical reason? What's the textual reason? One possible explanation might be that their dad just decided to take his wife's last name. But keep in mind, back in the 1970s, that would have made him massively feminist, which would mean the dad would have to have been a massive feminist. As much as I would love to say that nowadays that's not true, but unfortunately with still clowns like this running around, it still very much is feminist. One other possible explanation could be that Franklin and Sally's parents might have gotten a divorce at some point, which might actually explain why they have such a distant relationship. In the film, if their parents got a divorce when they were decently young, it's possible they might not have grown up together very much. In the movie, Sally says that she only stayed at their grandparents' house once, and Franklin seems to know the entire pathway very well, which would imply that he stayed there many times, which really makes sense if they grew up together. On the topic of divorce, it's possible that maybe Lefty's parents might have gotten a divorce at some point, and for whatever reason, he decided to keep his father's last name. But I'm going to completely throw this explanation out, as, keep in mind, no-fault divorce was not a thing in the United States until 1969. That would mean that this dad would have had to have been a massive piece of shit for that to happen, so I highly doubt Lefty would ever want to take his last name. However, there's one teeny-weeny little detail I've been ignoring this whole time that throws a massive wrench in this entire discussion. This goddamn ring. I've been losing my mind writing this over this stupid ring. When I first saw this on Lefty, I originally thought that this was Dennis Hopper's wedding ring, because some actors back in the day would keep their wedding rings on, even for movies. Nope! Dennis Hopper was actually divorced before this movie started production, so it can't be his wedding ring. So that meant this was an intentional choice. So now we have to try and answer the question of, who the hell is he married to? A spouse is never once named or mentioned in this entire movie, so whoever they are, they must not be around anymore, especially considering the fact they let them waste all their money on those damn chainsaws. Not to mention the entire plan he has is pretty clearly a suicide mission. I'm pretty sure that if he had a spouse, they wouldn't just let him do that. We have to get into two possible explanations. One could be that he's divorced, or two, a significant other might have died at some point. Either explanation seems viable, as the man we see in the movie is very clearly broken and depressed. But either explanation could add extra more to the tragedy of his character. Him being married at some point could explain the name thing. It's possibly decided to take a significant other's last name. Now, with all these explanations in place, I can't really come to a solid conclusion, so I'll let you all decide in the comments what you think is the most viable explanation. Or maybe you have another one that I hadn't even considered. Anyways, this video is pretty short. I just want to get something out quickly. I know I've been gone for God knows how long. Anyway, special thanks to Charles E. Valentine and Of the Hands on Tumblr for inspiring me to make this video. I pulled some of the sources from them. Love you, besties. Anyways, my name is Masky Masker, and thank you very much for watching.